Welcome everybody to another Pokemon VGC video. It's me, Ketsu, and today we are talking about the Pittsburgh Regional that just happened this past weekend. Apologies, by the way, my face cam is busted for some reason. OBS and my face cam are having a disagreement. So you've got the PNG tuber model today. So we're going to be going through a few things today from the Pittsburgh Regional and just talking about the top 4 teams as well as the most used Pokemon from last weekend. And oh my gosh, the results were a doozy. This was quite interesting. But let me know your thoughts on what happened this past weekend. I think the matches were really cool. There was a lot of cool, really exciting matches, and honestly, I kind of enjoy it. I enjoyed how everything was. Hang on, let me make myself bigger. Give me 1 second. So we're going to be discussing the top 4 teams of this past weekend, and we're going to start off with the top 4 done by Dylan Matthews, who looks kind of like a rain trick room team, which is kind of cool. A little bit of a rain room, which is quite nice. So we start things off with the signature, with the citrus berry, going into Terra Water as well, with the hospitality ability, being able to heal up a bunch of your allies' HP every time this thing switches in, which is quite nice. Machigotcha, Rage Powder, Life Dew, and Trick Room. So it's a very nice way to get Trick Room up and like started up here. Being a ghost type means you're immune to fake out, so you can kind of get this thing going up immediately if you want to. And being in the rain as well means that you kind of get like a little bit more of a buff against fire types, because of course rain nerfs fire types, which is quite nice. You've got all of these really good factors here, and honestly, Sinister popped up a lot, and you're gonna see it a lot later on in this video. But yeah, Sinister popped up quite a lot. And I think Sinister's going to be kind of put into the forefront here, because Sinister can actually do really well here. It's a very good support Pokemon for this regulation. It's a really good pull. Next up, we have the BASCULEGION with the Choice Band, going into Swift Swim with Terra Water, Wave Crash, Last Reflect, Aqua Jet, and Flip Turn. Standard set for BASCULEGION in the rain, can't really complain. We have the Assault Vest, Arcalodon, Terra Bug, Stamina, standard set here, Electro Shot, Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon, Body Press. You wouldn't really see much else, either Draco Meteor or Body Press, one of the two, but Dragon Pulse just to keep that special attack boost from Electro Shot as well. So it's a nice way. You basically get a pseudo Draco Meteor that's 100% accurate as long as you get an Electric Shot or 2 off, which is quite nice. We have the Terra Stellar Pelipper with the Focus Sash, of course having Drizzle, Hurricane, Weather Ball, Tailwind, Protect, standard Pelipper set here, can't really complain. We have the Flame Orb, Guts boosted Ursaluna going into Terra Ghost, Headlong Rush, Facade, Earthquake, Protect, again, standard Ursaluna set, can't really complain. And lastly is the Incineroar with the Safety Goggles, obviously with Intimidate, with the Terra Flying, Knock Off, Fake Out, Taunt, and Parting Shot. Now, because Incineroar is in, of course, the rain, Flare Blitz doesn't really give it too much of a benefit, so you can kind of swap Flare Blitz out for something else, and in this case we have Taunt. You've got a few other things you can potentially put on Incineroar here, but honestly Taunt is just your next best thing. And Terra Flying is also really good as well, because while of course most Incineroar would go Terra Ghost, that would kind of mean if you put Terra Ghost on Incineroar, you would have 3 Ghost types, so something like King Gambit would absolutely love to smack out like half of this team, which would not be great for this team at all. So Terra Flying is kind of like a nice other benefit as well. You stay clear off ground types, which is quite nice, which also shares Arcalodon's weakness. You've got a few things for you here. You've got quite a nice few things for you here. Next up is the next top 4 set done by Daniel Yu. And it's exactly the same team. It is literally exactly the same team. We've got the Sinister here with the Citrus Berry, we've got Pelipper with the Focus Sash, Flame Orb, Ursaluna, Incineroar, Safety Goggles, Terra Flying, BASCULEGION, Choice Band, Terra Water, and then Arcalodon, Terra Bug, Assault Vest, same set. It's literally the same set. So it's nice to see that this set actually does really well here. Normally we've been used to seeing, you know, more of a fast-paced, you know, rain team with other faster options, but now we're kind of seeing rain team kind of put in this set where it can kind of slow down. BASCULEGION kind of being this only like speed option here, and everybody else being like mildly slow, not as fast as things like, of course, Sneasler or even Dragapult, but like, you know, these guys can kind of keep up the pace in Trick Room when it's not something like Hardcore Trick Room, which is quite nice. And they've got the bulk to last as well, which is also really good. So yeah, I can't really complain. Like, Rain Room seems to be the way forward for Rain right now. And we're going to see how things play out later on. We'll see how things play out, like, as the regionals go on. Next up is the number 2 team done by Matt Tidd, and this was actually, I actually really enjoyed watching his sets here. This was really cool here. So we have kind of like this whole mixture of Trick Room here, but we've got a few nice techs here. So we're going to start off with, again, the Sinister. Again, Sinister coming up in 3 out of the top 4 teams is absolutely insane, and I'm telling you right now, Sinister is absolutely a beast here. We have the Mental Herb and Heat Proof as well, not Hospitality, which we're used to seeing on Sinister. It's Heat Proof, which means that we get a minus damage here off of fire type moves, which is really good. And even if it does get burned, you take a little less damage off of burn as well, which is quite nice. So you get like kind of essentially a non-fire weakness, which is really good for you because it kind of takes off half the damage, which is really good. It's really good here, especially since Sinister is of course weak to fire. It's a very nice tech to give in here. We've got the Mental Herb, which means that it can keep going off with these attacks, it can keep going off with these status moves, and just make sure that it can just keep running consistently, which is quite nice. Terra Dark to stay away from pranksters, and of course we've got Machigotcha, Strength Step, Calm Mind, and Trick Room. Now, this was really interesting here, because Strength Step, I can't lie, I feel like it's Sinister's best move. I want to go for it now and say Strength Sap, I strongly believe, is Sinister's best move, because the amount of HP this thing gets back off of just a single Strength Sap, not even off of a special attacker as well, is absolutely insane. This thing gets so much damage back, like this thing gets so much HP back from one Strength Sap, it's absolutely insane. And on top of that, the fact that you're also giving away a -1 attack boost for whoever you do Strength Sap on is absolutely amazing. There was one game where he did this to his own Primarina and got back a ton of HP, and Primarina, which we'll get to in a second, didn't even like get faltered, because of course it's a special attacker, so Strength Sap doesn't even affect it like that, which is again really huge. Like that is massively huge. Like that's just absolutely insane here. And the Carmine and the Trick Room as well is just nice text as well with the Matcha Gotcha too. We have the Safety Goggles King Gambit going into Terra Ghost this time with Defiant, Kotal Cleave, Iron Head, Sucker Punch, and Sword Dance. No Protect this time. Normally, for King Gambit, you would see Black Glasses and Protect and Terra Dark to boost up those Dark type moves. But I guess with Sword Dance, you're already hitting really hard, because if it's a crazy high base attack stat, you're already hitting really hard. So you don't need the Black Glasses, you don't need the Terra Dark, really. So you can kind of get things working here with King Gambit. It's very nice here. And Safety Goggles just means that in Trick Room, you're not scared of Amoonguss. Amoonguss can just keep hitting things back to back. And the fact that Amoonguss also goes into Terra Psychic nowadays means that you are also putting Amoonguss in a very tight corner. You can't be fastening it in Trick Room and put it to sleep. And if you go Terra, you're just getting hit with absolutely blitzing damage. It is not fun for Amoonguss right now. We have the Assault Vest Hariyama with the Thick Fat ability going into Terra Psychic, Close Combat, Knock Off, Heavy Slam, Fake Out. I am very surprised to see Hariyama this high up. I think Hariyama is just a very big underdog. It's a very good Trick Room mon. Normally you would see something like Guts, just because Guts is so good, but all of its abilities are really nice here. Thick Fat being able to take on things, you know, like against ice types and fire types, things that are just really up there in the meta right now, thanks to things like Alolan Ninetales and of course Incineroar, and you know, things like Volcarona and Torkoal. So it's very nice to get like a mon that can kind of sit there and just tank the damage as much as possible. Guts is also really good, and of course Sheer Force is still as well really good. But Thick Fat being in like a really good clutch here with that Assault Vest as well, you are tanking mad damage off of things like Torkoal as well. Like this team is really catered to not just like design for Trick Room, but also to take on Trick Room itself, which is really good. It's a really nice design here, and all the moveset is just really good too. Like the Terra Psychic as well. Nice to see Terra Psychic becoming more of that defensive Terra as well, just to stay away from things like Psy Spam and things like that. So yeah, again, a very nice factor to keep in mind here. We have the Covert Cloak Volcarona with the Flame Body, with Terra Steel, Flamethrower, Struggle Bug, Rage Powder, and Tailwind. More of a supportive set Volcarona here. No Quiver Dance, no Protect. It's more so like a supportive Volcarona. That way Fake Out never works, so you can run Tailwind if you really want to, like straight out of the gate. And if you really want to, you can hit things like Flamethrower, you can Struggle Bug your opponents here to get that special attack drop as well. And special attackers, since we don't have things like Intimidate that can do that, you've got a few things here. And Flame and Rage Powder just to kind of like force other Pokemon to hit Volcarona, and with that Flame Body as well, especially for physical attackers, that is not a pretty sight. So yeah, it's quite interesting here to see Volcarona with the support set. You don't see much of it nowadays, so it's nice to see a support Volcarona back. We have the Power Herb Archaludon with the sturdy ability Terra Electric, Dragon Pulse, Electroshock, Flash Cannon Protect, standard Power Herb set for Archaludon, can't really complain. And lastly is the Choice Specs Primarina going into Terra Grass, Hyper Voice, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, and Hydro Cannon. Now this is really interesting. You do not see Choice Specs Primarina like at all. Like at all. You either see leftovers or a throat spray or like any random assortment of that, like anything to do with healing or to give it a quick buff. You don't see Choice Specs, which is really interesting, because Primarina with its really high special attack stat with Choice Specs is really good. And the fact that it's like that kind of mid speed tier where it's not exactly too slow to be in Trick Room, but it's not exactly too fast to be a Tailwind mon, being something in a Trick Room team actually benefits it as well, because a lot of the meta right now is just really fast paced. You don't really see a lot of like really hard Trick Room type of stuff. Like you see it around, but it's not really like shining out. It's just kind of like a staple for the regulation, and that's pretty much it. So it's kind of interesting to see like Primarina do this role of just being there, doing a huge amount of damage, and kind of just like chipping things away as much as you can, which is really interesting. I really like this for Primarina. This is a really cool set here. Definitely something I want to keep in mind for my own team later on in the future. And finally is the number 1 team done by Chopper Cross, and it is this is a really solid team. It is just a really nice hold, really nice mouse hold support. I said nice hold. I guess we should call it that, right? Nice hold. A nice hold, just a nice supportive mouse hold team. It's really cool. It's a really cool team. We've got Basculegion with the Focus Sash, Terra Ghost with Adaptability, Liquidation, Last Respects, Aqua Jet, and Protect. The Focus Sash being really good here because most times Basculegion gets one shot by things like Grassy Glide on Rillaboom, so having that Focus Sash there on such a big threat is just really good here, and Adaptability giving you an extra boost on stab moves, which is just absolutely intense. The Terra Ghost with Last respects just makes it a really good late game sweeper, especially as well with that focus sash being a late game sweeper, being considerably like, you know, on the kind of faster side of the meta is just really awesome. So, like, you can kind of get a few things going with BASCULEGION, especially, like I said as well, as a late stage, you know, sweeper, having last respects, being able to hit everything, and, you know, your opponent panicking, going like, I need to get this thing. You always need to hit it twice, which is just really good. We have the Rocky Helmet Mouse Hold going into Terra Poison with the Friend Guard ability, Super Fang, Feint, Follow Me, and Protect. Now, this is also interesting because normally you would see things like Terra Ghost or things like, or maybe even like a defensive Terra like Terra Fairy, but because you have things here like Goldengo, like Sneasler, and for the ghost types, you've got things like Incineroar and King Gambit. You kind of want to steer away from having those typings a little bit, especially on something so frail like a Mouse Hold. But you want to keep a typing that can get you away from fighting types, which Poison just fits really, really well here. The only threat that you kind of have here is Side Spam, but like you've got the countermeasures here for that. Super Fang being a really good move here, Feint being able to break through Protect, and then of course Follow Me and Protect is just really, really good for support on the Mouse Hold as well. Like this team can last really, really well with Mouse Hold support. This team is absolutely insane. We have the Loaded Dice Dragonite with the Terra Fairy, Multi-Scale, Tail Shot, Scale Shot, Tailwind, Haze, Protect. I said Tail Shot for a second, that's my bad. But yeah, standard Dragonite set, can't really complain. We have the Safety Goggles, Incineroar, Terra Grass, Intimidate, Flare Blitz, Knock Off, Part and Shot, Fake Out. It looks like we're steering away from the Terra Ghost on Incineroar. It's kind of a staple for Incineroar, but it looks like we're steering like a lot more away from it. Like top 4 Incineroar ended up going to Terra Flying, this one's Terra Grass. So this is quite interesting. It's also interesting to see that we have Safety Goggles and Terra Grass. Normally you would see one of the two, but to see both of them attached together is really, really interesting here. I guess this way you can also steer clear from things like Amoonguss, while at the same time you can steer clear of fighting types, you can steer clear of, you know, you can steer clear of ground types, which can hurt you really badly. It's a cool mixture. It's a very, very cool mixture here, and it's quite interesting to see how this plays out too. We have the Blood Moon Ursaluna going into Terra Fire this time. Blood Moon, Hyper Voice, Earth Power, Vacuum Wave. Again, Assault Vest Ursaluna becoming more of a staple here, but the Terra Fire is very interesting. The Terra Fire is very, very interesting here. Even in the last regional, the winning Ursaluna was Terra Electric, so we're seeing a bunch of like different Terras here on Ursaluna, aside from like Terra Normal, Terra Water. Like, it's very interesting to see how this plays out for Ursaluna, and I am very, very intrigued to see how this works. And lastly, we have the Choice Specs Goldengo, Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Power Gem, and Trick with the Terra Steel. It's just nice for Goldengo as well, because you can swap things over. Trick just makes things so much, like, difficult for physical attackers, or even, like, you know, slow Pokemon as well. This could make things really, really hard for it, especially things like Ursaluna. That was the first thing in my head. And Terra Steel with the Make It Rain just hits things so incredibly hard. Like, Goldengo is just a staple in this regulation as well. Goldengo is just an absolute GOAT in this reg. And now going into one of my favorite segments of when we do these videos, the top used Pokemon of both day 1 and day 2. So going into day 1, it looks like Goldengo's kind of sweeping the entire board here, being the most popular Pokemon in both day 1 and day 2, and I'm not surprised. This thing is an absolute beast. Steel and Ghost is just an amazing typing combination. Its ability just makes it really, really good, meaning that you just have to hit it like no matter what. You can't like work your way around it, you can't taunt it, you can't encore it, you can't burn it, you can't put it to sleep. You need to hurt this thing to get rid of it, which is quite nice. Sneasler going down in usage. I think Sneasler was like one of the main Pokemon that everybody was like, that had troubles with, or like that everybody like was pinning a target on, which is quite interesting. So like, again, Sneasler, Goldengo, Arcalodon, those were like the main 3, at least in my opinion, that everybody was kind of looking out for to get rid of. So it's nice to see that Sneasler is, you know, going down in usage. Everyone's kind of steering clear of that Iron Claw, getting the download ready on Sneasler, which is quite nice. Incineroar racking up in usage, being like I believe, the 3rd place used on day 1 to the 2nd place in day 2. And that's not really a good complaint there. Incineroar is just that guy. He just stays on the field. Like, Incineroar's just that popular Pokemon. Ever since Gen 7 or Gen 8, this guy's just been here. Incineroar's just been here, and in my opinion, he will continue to just stay here. Dragonite also going up in day 2. We've got Annihilate and Blood Moon Ursaluna going up in day 2. Tyranitar is also really, really interesting here, coming up in the top 13. On day 1, it was under 15.2%. It just overtook a lot of Ninetales by like a point of percentage. And then on day 2, it went to 15.9. So a little bit more usage on Tyranitar, which I am a fan of. I love Tyranitar. I think Tyranitar is my favorite weather setter, honestly. I really love Tyranitar here, so it's nice to see that Tyranitar is becoming a lot more of a staple now in Regulation H. It's just going really well here. I really do like it. And BASCULEGION as well also coming up. Again, like I was saying earlier, BASCULEGION is just becoming more of that Pokemon here where it's like, essentially we was like, oh, BASCULEGION only works in the rain because it's got Swift Swim, it hits really hard with the choice band. But now a lot of people are starting to shy away from BASCULEGION only using it in the rain to becoming its own Pokemon now, because we're seeing things like, again, the winning team had Focus Sash, we see Choice Scarf with adaptability, we see Choice Band as well with adaptability as well outside of the rain. We see a few things for BASCULEGION, and the fact that it's working outside of the rain is really showing, including the fact that Pelipper has also gone down in usage. The fact that more people are using BASCULEGION than Pelipper in day 2 shows that we are using BASCULEGION outside of rain a lot more, and it's really interesting to see here. So I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see how this works out, and I'm a fan. I can't lie to you, I'm a fan to see how this goes, and I want to see what BASCULEGION does in the future too. But that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know by leaving a like down below, as well as hitting that subscribe button as well. Helps me out a ton. And let me know what your favorite moment was from this past weekend at the Pittsburgh Regionals. And of course, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all later. Okay, bye!